Alright, so now it's finally time to start adding code to this user form so we can pass the values inside of these controls to the desired cells on our worksheet. So after the user inserts all the details for an item, we want the values inside of these controls to be passed over to our worksheet once the user clicks the Add button inside the user form. So we need to execute lines of code once this Add button is clicked. Well, to access the code module for this button, all we have to do is double-click on the button, and automatically a click event gets added inside of this module. The first values that we are going to pass over to our worksheet are the values inside the text box controls. So our first text box inside of our user form is the item number text box. And we want that value to be placed inside cell A2 that's within the item number column. So inside of our sub, we know a few options on how to reference a range. For this example, I'm just going to use cells. And for the row number, let's put 2. And for the column number, we can put 1. So in row 2 in column 1, which is column A, equals, and to get the item number text box value, we have to put the name of our text box, which is item TB, which is short for text box, dot value. So if we click the Add Item button on our worksheet, it opens up our user form, and then if we add an item number inside the text box, let's just say A101, and if we click this Add button, it will execute all the lines of code within this sub procedure for the Add Command button click event. So if we click Add, A101 gets inserted into cell A2. And if we want to add another item, we can come inside this text box, change the item number, and click Add. Well, we can see that in cell A2, our first item got overwritten. Because within our sub, our code is always referencing cells 2, 1. Well, every time the user wants to add a new item, we want to expand the list. So this would be a perfect time to incorporate the code on how to get the last row. So first, let's exit out of our user form and get back inside of our Add button code module, and let's declare our last row variable. So we can type in dim LR as integer, and we can make LR equal to cells, open parentheses, rows dot count, comma 1, close parentheses, dot end Excel up dot row, and this will get us the last row of our item list. So instead of cells 2, 1, we can replace the row number with last row. Now if we step through this code by pressing F8 on our keyboard, our user form will pop up and we can type in a new item number, A103 for example, and if I click Add, it takes us to our Add button click event, and then we can press F8, F8 again, and it says that our last row is equal to 2, which is correct. But since last row equals 2, we will still be overwriting cell A2, because cells 2, 1 is still referencing the range that we don't want to overwrite. So instead of using last row, we need to use last row plus 1. So inside of our sub, we can either add 1 to our last row variable or add 1 to LR inside of our cell reference. I will just add it to the variable by typing in +1 So now if the user clicks on Add Item and types in a new item number and clicks Add, since we added 1 to the last row, this item number gets inserted 1 row below the last row, allowing users to expand on this list. Now really quickly, let's do the same thing for our price text box. So let's exit out of the form, double-click our Add button, and down at the bottom here, we can add a new line and type in cells, last row, comma, 5, because price is the 5th column within our spreadsheet, close parentheses, equals the name of our text box, which is price __value. So now when we go back to add an item, we can enter the item number, and if we enter a price of $5 and click Add, we can see that the item number got placed inside the item number column, and then our price got placed within the price column. So that's how you can pass values from your text boxes to your worksheet. And then in the next video, we will talk about how we can pass values for these option buttons.